Day 50 without a beard trimmer charger in Canada. In a desperate effort to save things, I bought myself a flannel shirt to go for the lumberjack look, rather than buying a beard trimmer charger with that money. I also just realized this will invite more Fantano comparisons than being a white man with thick rimmed glasses already does.
I just flipped the switch. Flip, flip.
I am entering my lumberjack era, not my Fantano era. Shout out to Anthony though. Should we expose some chest hair, bring some sex appeal to the CDTV channel? I'm joking, it's already there. Anyway, Kanye West is one of the most fascinating artists of all time. Not only does he just make phenomenal music, but I can't really think of another rapper who can definitively announce an album, in some cases even start the rollout for that album, and then just not drop it multiple times. Sometimes the albums never come out. I guess you could call me the Kanye West of YouTube. My videos are masterpieces, but if I announce them, then there's like a 50-50 chance that they'll actually come out. With his upcoming album Donda being pushed back multiple times, I thought now would be a fun time to go through Kanye's unreleased albums and take a look at what could have been. Now, before we get into it, let's lay down some ground rules for what I mean by unreleased albums so you know what to expect. 1. The album has to have been announced by Kanye. 2. There needs to be full songs that you can listen to that were very possibly intended for these albums, whether they were released officially or unofficially. So albums that just have a title or an idea but no music attached to them like Good Ass Job won't be included on here. And 3. I won't be covering any albums that are incredibly similar to albums that Kanye would release, such as Swish and Waves, which were essentially early versions of The Life of Pablo. This is CDTVProductions. You can join my Patreon to see an exclusive video of me talking about Yeezus track by track, and let's take a journey into the world of scrapped Kanye albums.
Still getting popped on the day-to-day. Yeah, I still got the 100 with a small face, nigga. Might spend 50 racks in my off day, nigga. You a fake.
So Help Me God was intended to be the Kanye album following Yeezus, and was an album that Kanye described as focusing on the beauty of the struggle. And also the opposite of Yeezus, in that he was embracing the beauty of the music this time, rather than making big scary industrial sounds that could turn people away. If you listen to the singles he intended for the album, this antithetical sound to Yeezus was very clear on a couple of them. All Day is the closest thing to the abrasiveness of Yeezus instrumentally, and it goes hard as hell. I'm so glad he dropped it. But then you listen to a track like Only One, and it's the complete opposite. It's so wonderful and moving.
And next time when I look in your eyes, we'll have wings and we'll fly.
That song hits me like a truck. Hearing Kanye singing from the perspective of his mother Donda while she's looking down at him from heaven, while also making the song a sort of dedication to his own daughter North, is so heartbreaking yet heartwarming at the same time. Other songs that were supposedly headed for this album were the similarly minimalistic 4-5 Seconds, the mental illness focused I Feel Like That, the very mellow Southside Serenade, and also apparently had the original version of Wolves as its opening track. Now, I know some people would say that this album turned into Swish, which turned into Waves, which turned into The Life of Pablo, but from the looks of it, So Help Me God was originally intended to be a very different project to what we got on The Life of Pablo, so that's why I'm counting it for this one. So, do I wish that this album dropped? It's not even a question. Fuck yes, I do. I really love the emotional sound that it seemed like this album was going for, with Kanye sort of looking for the light in the dark of his experiences with death and mental health issues. And also, the few bangers that might have appeared on there, like All Day, are incredibly hard in my opinion. I love how Kanye raps on that. Come on, surely we all want an album that has All Day on it. And if songs like God Level were finished and complete, I personally think they would have ended up being made into incredible songs. Even tracks I didn't love, like I Feel Like That, have something creative and appealing about them, and it sticks with you after you hear it. At the very least, there are fan-made versions of this album on YouTube that can give you an idea of where this project was heading, and they honestly sound pretty great for an unfinished version of an unreleased album. So Help Me God gets the CDTV stamp of I want that desperately.
I guess it's hard to decipher all of the bills, especially when you got family members on payroll.
In February of 2016, Kanye released his 7th studio album, The Life of Pablo, and then announced that he would be dropping another album in the summer, titled Grafx 16, named after one of his favourite video game consoles when he was a kid, a mere 2 weeks later. And that is how you knew this shit was not dropping. 2 albums within 6 months from the man who made multiple iterations of his last album before he was satisfied with it? No way. And that's not even mentioning the fact that he kept updating Pablo after it dropped too. This album could have been really cool as well, considering the video game inspired name. There's a lot of interesting places you could take that musically. But who knows where it would have went really, because no music was officially released from this one. The best we've got is some leaks that were rumored to be intended for this album, and interestingly, pretty much all of them seem to go in a more standard trap direction, with production that could perhaps vaguely be interpreted as being influenced by video games. Where is the bleep bloops and the do-do-do-do-do-do-do synths? The reference track for All Eyes on Ye seems semi-video gamey and sounds like it could have been great if it was finished, but there's nothing else that was rumored to be for this project that made it seem like it would be all that good. Hard to say because these demos and references are very clearly far from finished if they were intended to be on Grafx 16, but hearing Kanye doing standard trap on an album isn't really all that exciting. Euro with A$AP Rocky has a hard beat, but the chorus is pretty off-putting, and if Face Down with Quavo and Yachty was intended for this project, yeah, maybe it was best we didn't get this one. Overall, I personally don't think I would need it. It definitely could have evolved into something amazing, but I can only base it off of what we've got, and from what we've got, it sounds like we'd maybe be getting a few hard bangers on the album, and that's it. Nowhere near as interesting as So Help Me God to me. Grafx 16, you get the stamp of best left unreleased.
Pray for me, I'm about to hit the yay button. I don't wanna say nothing wrong, but it'd be wrong if I ain't say nothing.
This one will be pretty quick, considering it was announced by Kanye, the lead single Champions was released, and then yep, not even any supposed leaks from this one, just one song. Now of course, Cruel Winter would have been the follow-up album to the Good Music compilation album, Cruel Summer, and just that alone makes me want it. The original spawned hits like Click and Mercy and had the absolute banger that was the Don't Like remix.
I was in too deep like my cat fight.
To top it off, Champions is an amazing single that gets me amped up every time I hear it. The intensely triumphant sound it has is infectious, and out of all the performances on it, I only thought one of them wasn't good. You can hear more about that in this video right here. Self-promotion at its finest. The only other rumour surrounding this album was a remix of designer song Panda, featuring everyone from Good Music, but that never saw the light of day. Oh, and a demo track where Kanye says, "Crow winner, ooh!" for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Sci-Hi the Prince, who frequently collaborates with Kanye and was on Cruel Summer, said in an interview that Cruel Winter is in fact finished, but that was in 2017, and yeah, we're never getting this one. Cruel Winter gets the CDTV stamp of it has been so many years, but please drop it anyway. We've barely heard anything from it, but I want to hear it.
Make America great again, had a negative perception. I took it, boy, rocked it, gave it a new direction.
Okay, this one was messy as hell, so please bear with me if this sounds like the one that I know the least about, despite the fact that I was following Kanye around the time that all this stuff went down. Sorry guys, I forgot. I believe this was around the time where Kanye wore MAGA hats, supported Donald Trump, was just generally controversial, so there was a lot going on around this album's creation and eventual scrapping. Despite being in the works shortly before Kanye released Ye, I don't believe Love Everyone shares any tracks with it, but there were supposedly multiple different track lists, so who even knows? And I'm curious to see what this album would have held, considering Kanye wanted the album cover for this to be a picture of the surgeon who operated on Donda West the day before she died. Along with the title of Love Everyone, this gives us a bit of an idea of what the intended message would be. Or maybe it wouldn't, considering the leaked lyrics from a track given the name DJ Khaled's Son, which read as follows. I'll give you a second to really just take that in. Love Everyone, everybody. Maybe I don't want to know what this album would have held. It may have included the original version of Ecstasy, which thankfully did not have any lyrics about Kanye wanting to bang his sisters-in-law. Allegedly, originally had a version of Lift Yourself with actual lyrics instead of the whole poopty whoopty scoopty stuff. It may have also included Ye versus the People. I would love to hear a version of Lift Yourself with an actual verse on it, but I don't think I need to hear the rest of Love Everyone. Maybe that's partly because I couldn't find super clear-cut info on it, but from what I do know, it seems for the best that we got Ye instead. For everyone involved. Here you go, Love Everyone. Best left unreleased. And lastly, one of the much more high-profile scrapped Kanye albums, Yandhi. We got that beautiful, sexy, fuckable album cover that looks like Yeezus but from space, a tweet with the release date which has still not been deleted, and please can I live in the alternate universe where this album actually did drop on my birthday in 2018. You denied me of the ultimate present, Kanye. But I can't be too mad because there's still a lot of tracks out there that were intended for Yandhi that have been unofficially released. Alien, every version I've heard of that slaps. Hurricane, pure beauty. Law of Attraction, which eventually turned into Use This Gospel, it exceeds the Jesus is King version for me, or at least it definitely would have if it was fully finished lyrically. Sky City is so wonderful and uplifting. And Last Name was not only beautiful sounding, but also very interesting with the topic of Kanye wanting to give up his surname, West, because it was very likely given to his ancestors by slave owners. It really seems like Yandhi contained a lot of incredible music on it, especially if these aren't the fully completed versions of these songs. The production on this just sounded miles ahead of anything found on Jesus is King. It was like a peaceful, otherworldly sound that also went hard when it needed to. Yandhi basically sounded like the explicit cousin of Jesus is King, without that sterile sound that Jesus is King had, and a much more interesting sonic landscape. You already know, Yandhi also gets the stamp of I want that desperately. And there we have it. That was a quick little rundown of 5 unreleased Kanye albums that I believe fit the criteria that I mentioned at the start of the video. But if there's some that I missed that also fit it, I already know that some Kanye stans will let me know down in the comments below. Out of all of these albums, I'd say the one that I wish we got the most was Yandhi. So Help Me God is so damn close, but from what we know about these albums, it seemed like Yandhi was just filled with potentially incredible, all-time great Kanye tracks. So that's the one I have to pick. As for the one that I'm most glad didn't come out, Love Everyone. Again, just from what we do know about it, it doesn't seem like it would be the best move for Kanye. But all in all, I think the fact that Kanye has so many unreleased albums that could be containing absolutely insane music on them that's just never really gonna see the light of day is a testament to how seriously he takes his art. Kanye will not put out an album unless his heart is 100% into it, and he will push to make that project perfect for what he wants to put out at that moment. So now I guess we just all wait for Friday and see if Donda avoids joining this list. And if you're watching this video after Friday, you'll either be happy that we got it or incredibly irritated that I brought it up and we didn't. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Special shout out to my biggest supporters on Patreon, and those are Reagan Burt, I Am Regent, and Cyrus Formadoni. Of course, you can subscribe if you want to see more content similar to this in the future, and this is CDTV Productions, signing out.